All right, welcome in to the first episode of the Doghouse Podcast, where me and my partner here, Ed, are going to be talking about topics that get us into the doghouse. Who we are and what we're about. So if Ed, you would like to start us off?
Well, I'm 31. I'm married to my partner here's mother, which is going to be fun too, because might hear some awkward things.
Yep.
I've been in multiple relationships. I've made a ton of mistakes in those relationships. I've cheated. I've lied. I've had undiagnosed anxiety basically until I was 29. But now I'm married for 2 years and been together for almost 5. And this is the best we've ever been. And I think I have some advice for people.
And then I'm Brian, 26 years old. 26? 27?
Is it 26?
26, 27? 27.
He doesn't
I don't know
know.
the age. So I'm 27 years old. Don't have the most experience, or as much experience as my buddy Ed over here, but I know I've been through a lot. Like he said, I've cheated, I've lied, I've been lied to, I've been cheated on. Been through a lot of bad things, a lot of good things, a lot of ups and downs in my relationships. I'm currently with Abby, who's my fiance, wife. We have 2 kids together. Everything's going good. So this is the first ever podcast we're doing. What we're here to do is talk about topics that other guys would like to maybe bring up that they are not comfortable with talking with their wives, girlfriends, fiancés about, or significant other. But we're not only about that. We're about mental health. Promoting mental health. We're also talking about just guy stuff that they want to talk about.
Yeah, like sports.
Sports or
Sports,
just
video games.
General questions or anything if anyone ever wants to ask questions. We're not just here to talk about relationship advice or relationships in general, but we tend to talk about things that will get us in trouble with our wives, which is also my mother on the other end over there. So.
And she's also our producer, so she's here watching this and laughing at us.
Yes.
Because we're talking about this stuff.
Yeah, so she is our producer. My mother is our producer. She's the background master of all this stuff, making sure all the behind the scenes is good. But yeah, we're not qualified therapists or anything like that.
Yeah.
We're trying to make a little thing where people can come and talk and ask questions, and we'll give our best advice, and people in the comment section come in and give their advice as well, and hopefully down the line we can have guests in and stuff like that once we figure out some more stuff. This is our first episode and the first time ever doing a podcast like this. So
Zoom might be an option. People might show up as an option.
People
and then I also found a new feature with the app that we've been using for podcasts that they can actually leave voice messages for us.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be real cool.
There's a lot of cool stuff that I have coming along. We will be on Twitch. We'll also be on YouTube. I will try to get us to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and basically any of the big ones that we have out there. We have 3 cameras for our video podcast, but we're going to be doing audio too, because I know I like listening to audio podcasts more than watching them. I listen to like 5 podcasts because I'm a DoorDasher. I basically drive around all day door dashing for 4 or 5 hours, and then I'm a house husband after that. So that's my life. And you can talk about like what you've done for jobs. I used to work for a plumbing company for a very long time, so I've been in the construction field. I've dealt with that. I worked with my father for a very long time, so that's a lot of anxiety and problems that I've had to deal with. I dealt with a very terrible boss, and I left in epic fashion too, which is also a great part of my history. And Brian has some work history too that's pretty unique.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely right out of high school, I was a security guard downtown Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and that was 10-hour shifts. That wasn't anything crazy, but then I decided that wasn't good enough, and asked my mom, and told my mom I wanted to become a correctional officer in a prison, and sure enough, I applied, and a month or so later, I became a security officer and went to training and passed and all this other stuff, and became a correctional officer up at a women's max facility. I promoted pretty quick there to correctional sergeant, and I bounced around to a few other prisons. And I was a correctional sergeant for 6 years in the Wisconsin Department of Corrections. And needless to say, that was a very stressful job. It comes with a lot of issues that arise, and it's hard to be home and separate home from work, and it's very strenuous on a relationship, especially when you're working 16 hours multiple times a day, and dealing with things that not a lot of people in the public deal with. So I actually left that job last October and started working at FedEx, which was not great. Did not enjoy it. Was not worth it.
Right during peak season for it,
yeah,
too.
right during peak season, which was a terrible decision. The money was all right, but again, the hours were terrible. With us having 2 small kids, and everything was very hard to deal with, and hard on my wife, and she has to deal with the kids, all day. So I quit that job, and I've been kind of just a house husband, like Ed here. But actually, I just took a job as a bank teller. And my wife actually just got offered an amazing job being a bank teller at a different bank. So we both start that very soon. We're very excited. But yeah, coming from a correctional background, it brings out, just being in a prison brings out anxiety and stress and just the unknown of what's going to happen next and everything like that. And I think that's another good point to have in these conversations, especially with men. A lot of people don't talk about men's mental health these days. And, a lot of men are told they can't be emotional, or it was instilled in them not to be emotional by their father or mother, whoever their person was that was raising them. And I think this will be a good place to have that safe spot for men to come to for advice or just to talk, or if they need someone to talk to, so they can come here and just talk about mental health, especially within men, because it's definitely not talked about enough these days within the world in just general. So
yeah, I have been in therapy now, a year and a half. I've been basically doing since Corona started, like at a therapy appointment for in-person therapist, literally like the next week after, and then it basically got shut down, and I never got to go with them.
Yeah.
And I've been doing online therapy for a year and a half, basically. I'm on anxiety medication. So that's always people don't want to get on medication and stuff. So I have history with that. I've tried like 4 or 5 different combinations and different doses. I've had side effects. And I want to normalize that type of thing.
Yeah, for sure. So, especially even if it's not through us, if everyone's having a hard time, please reach out to the correct people, the police or the hospital, or just someone to reach out before it gets bad and you do something you're going to regret down the line. You got family and loved ones out there. So, hopefully we can create a safe spot for everyone to come in and enjoy themselves and, have a little laughs and, maybe talk about some serious subjects on the line. And, for sure, if anyone wants to come in and leave us a question, we can talk about it. Or if we don't have enough time to talk about it on this episode, I'm sure we can get it down the line. And if you guys missed this episode since it's live and you're listening to it via YouTube or Spotify, please feel free to join the Discord, which is actually down in my Twitch. And
it will be in the show notes.
Yeah, it'll be in the show notes as well. So the Discord will be a place where we can all communicate. Because there's a section where you can actually submit questions and stuff like that we can eventually talk about down the line as well. So again, I just want to make sure we're definitely not qualified as therapists, like Ed said, but I think it's going to be
we're normalizing it. We're trying to normalize it.
That's the plan, So I just want to create a safe spot for men, and even if women are out there and want to listen to the podcast,
yeah,
most
you have
definitely
questions about men.
Exactly, you can definitely.
I have a question about your man. Like, why does he act that way? We can maybe try to figure out what the heck he's thinking.
Yeah, because
we probably think the same.
Exactly.
And another thing I know I want to do is apparently couples TikTok is a huge thing, and stuff I thought was just unique to our relationship is definitely not. So I scroll through TikTok nonstop, and I've been just saving anything that's random and that's like, oh, this is something I want to talk about, and we'll be showcasing those, and I'll give support to those content creators that do it. But that'd be awesome if we could actually get a hold of one of those.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Because there are some smaller ones but I know some of them are way too big to have to deal with little old us. But I would like to bring stuff like that in too. So.
And if you know anyone that think would benefit from something like this, make sure you kind of lead them to us, or whatever. If if anyone's if your friend or brother or sister's having a hard time, make sure you send them our way, and maybe Ed here and I can give some advice or just something to help them along the way. I mean, anything is better than nothing. You know what I mean?
Our Discord is probably the best place because like we call it the Famland because that's his big, his brand is his family, and we're all the entire family's in there, and we consider all of our good friends family, and we would consider you family too. Just come in and asking for help. We're not going to treat you any different because you're a new person or not. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
But,
if you guys, we're definitely gonna be all one big family here. If you guys ever need help or anything, we'll do our best to be there, especially in tough situations. We don't want to see anyone do anything that might hurt them or their family down the line. So we're here just to talk about talk about fun stuff. The doghouse. That's what we're about.
Jokingly, but it's also serious.
We very much love our wives and our family. Obviously, we're just kind of poking fun or whatever. That. They might get a little mad at us here and there, but that's just the fun of it. You know what I mean? So
it's life.
Exactly. But there are topics I'm sure that both Ed and I would like to eventually discuss that bother us, that our significant others do, our wives do, and if they get mad at us, we'll deal that after the podcast, I guess.
Yeah.
Right?